Now our next speaker is Stephen Meredith. Now Stephen is the enterprise architect at Cardiff County Council and responsible for overseeing the capital's smart city aspirations. He has delivered various digital transformation projects ranging from assisted living to the implementation of an alarm receiving centre. He joined Cardiff Council 2 years ago and is primarily responsible for working with key stakeholders to design and deliver Cardiff Smart City initiative. Cardiff recently developed an ambitious smart city roadmap that aims for Cardiff to become an inclusive, sustainable, healthy and productive city that uses technology and data to enhance the lives of people living and working and visiting the capital. Hopefully that will then emanate across the whole of Wales. So Stephen's talk is titled The Digital Cardiff Journey and Roadmap. So over to you, Stephen. Diolch yn fawr. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Just share my screen. Okay, hopefully you can see my screen. So my name's Stephen Meredith. I'm an enterprise architect at Cardiff Council, and I'm primarily responsible for Cardiff's Smart City roadmap and the Smart City aspirations. So the Smart City roadmap has been created, it's gone out to public consultation, and the final version will be out shortly. And it focuses on areas such as collaboration, data, mobility, sustainability, health and connectivity. So what I tried to do today is try and pick some examples of projects that we've worked on that could be easily replicated in towns. We have got other initiatives such as smart parking, armed wearable solutions, etc. But I'm not going to go into those today. I think, in 10 minutes, we'll stick to the ones that I think could really, really make a difference in some towns. So first one is smart bins. So in Cardiff, we've got over 500 freestanding bins that have been retrofitted with these ultrasonic sonar sensors. And what happens is the sensors send the data over the mobile phone network to a cloud-based software application. But those sensors are using the mobile phone network at the moment, but they could also use, LoRaWAN, NB-IoT, whatever is available in your town. The actual solution, it's got loads and loads of functionality. So here's just a quick overview. So there are all the bins that we've got in the city. So that they sort of give you like a RAG status, if you like. So the red bins need to be emptied in 1 day, orange, 2 to 3 days, green dots, 4 days plus. And the grey bins are the bins that don't have any sensors. And the reason they don't have any sensors is because there's a different SLA against those, so they'll be collected every day, such as shopfront bins, for instance. The software actually uses machine learning to predict when the bins will be full. So this screenshot was actually taken on the 6th of December, and it's telling us here that the bin will be full on the 9th of December. It also provides location information, which is obviously really, really useful for asset management, so knowing exactly where your bins are in the city. There is obviously there's loads and loads of functionality that this software has, but the main focus is that the application provides information on fill levels and collections. So as you can see on there, it shows when the bins are getting full, and it also shows when the bins have been emptied. That's a month view, but that can be changed to daily, it can be changed to yearly. But the most important factor, I think, is that the data from the bins is used to inform scheduling, and routes are optimized from the data. So what does that actually bring? So it reduces vehicle mileage, which reduces vehicle emissions, and it reduces fuel costs. So typically, prior to the sensors, the crews would go out and they would collect between or attend to 80 to 100 bins a day. They now attend to about 10 to 20 bins a day. So they only attend the bins that are full or nearly full. And that frees up capacity then, so the operators can go and undertake other work. So they're not all tied up driving around the city and going to bins that don't need emptying. But the additional cost savings are also around actually purchasing bins. So what we can do now is we can see what bins are not being used, and then obviously pick up those bins and move them to an area where there's a higher footfall or a tourist attraction, or just where they are going to be used. So say, for instance, if a bin hasn't been emptied or doesn't need emptying for 40 odd days, then it's probably in the wrong place and needs to be moved. So the other initiative that we've had is smart lighting. I mean, Cardiff are quite blessed. We've got a really passionate smart lighting team. And when I mean passionate, they absolutely love street lighting in general, the whole concept of it. But our street lights are fitted with GPS and they have the ability to send and receive data. So at the moment, we've got just under 16,000 smart LED street lights out there, mostly on strategic routes into the city. And there's a remaining nearly 22,000, which will be going out to procurement shortly. So they will cover all the residential areas. There is some residential areas already covered in Cardiff because we did them as part of a trial scheme. But the actual software application which runs in the background allows us to see all the lights, all the smart lighting within the city. And it also gives us the ability to detect faulty lights and troubleshoot in real time. Where this is really, really useful is that, I've got to be honest, you need a bit of experience as well, and looking at, like I said, our street lighting team are really, really passionate. But what they're able to do is they're able to easily see if the fault can be fixed by us, or if it's like a power outage, for instance, then obviously we'll go to a utility company. Whereas previously we would go out and have to attend, every single outage, for instance. Now we can quickly work out in real time what the actual issue is. We can set up dimming schedules around the city to our street lighting. So there you can see that the lights sort of dim around midnight, and then they come back on about 6 a.m. in the morning. And again, that's to save energy and to save costs as well. But we're also able to calculate to the penny the electricity usage on it. And you may think, well, why is that useful? And it's more future-proofing it. So at the moment, we do connect deployable cameras to our street lighting, but in the future, there's every chance we'll deploy 5G small cells and other devices to our street lighting. So it's good for us to know exactly how much those devices are costing us to run and how much energy they're also using. So what are been the main benefits to us? So mostly, cost has been massive. So we have an £800,000 per annum saving because the new LED bulbs are so efficient. They also provide a better quality light. So they produce a nice white light as opposed to like a yellow glow colour. And as a result of that, we've been the first UK city to be recognised by the International Dark Sky Association for our efforts to reduce artificial lighting. And they also reduce our maintenance costs. So going back to the example I gave earlier, we no longer, we do have to send out crews when obviously there is a street lighting issue and it's our issue, but we're able to quickly determine in real time whether or not the fault lies with us. So it saves about £130,000 annually in maintenance and management costs. But looking forward, where I think we've got gaps, and I think this gap applies to most public sector organisations throughout the UK, is this whole data silo. We've got data scattered around the organisation. So I just showed 2 applications then, street lighting and our smart bin applications, but they're both cloud-based software. And as good as cloud-based software is, it can also create additional silos. So I've just picked some service areas in the example there. So we've got traffic planning, waste management, street lighting, air pollution. If you look at traffic and air pollution, these days they sort of come hand in hand, but yet they're 2 separate departments and they'll have different applications to monitor air pollution and traffic, and never do the 2 meet. And when they do meet, it's generally, you've got to send an email between departments and say, can I have this data? And then what happens is a spreadsheet goes back and forth. So you've never got a single version of the truth. The information doesn't flow easily from A to B. And it makes it really, really difficult to create that data-driven environment. So I think we all dream of having, all cities do, and I would imagine towns are the same. You have this dream that you're going to have all this data, the same as Google and Facebook and all these people that really, really, make the most of their data. But the problem is that at the moment, all the data is generally tracked in applications scattered all over, your business or local authority. So we're trying to address it with a central data repository. And these come in many names, come into many guises. So I've just picked out data lake and data warehouse, but there's also other ones. But the idea is there that you can get all your anonymized data. So I'm not talking about personal data here, but your anonymized data, and be able to put it all together to make it really, you know, easily searchable, and so that everybody has the same copy of the same data. So therefore, you know it's correct. You're also not getting data being sent around the organisation willy-nilly. But in order to achieve that, it's quite a big task. And in order to do it, I think we've really got to improve our data skills, and that involves additional training. But most importantly, I think, you know, we need corporate and organisational buy-in. And the reason is that data lakes cost money. To train staff, it costs money. And also, departments need to be aware that, you know, the data is a corporate asset. It is for everybody. So we should be sharing it. You shouldn't have to go and ask for information. This should be readily available. So it's important that you have that buy-in. But what does it give us? Well, you know, like I just said, searchable data, more flexible reporting, better insights, and a single version of the truth. So again, you shouldn't be getting data which is, you know, old. Everything should be current in there. But it really is, I think, where most cities are trying to get to. I know a few have started, but I think very few have actually succeeded in getting all their anonymised data up there. And I think that will be the difference between cities, you know, definitely cities and towns, either being really, really progressive or failing in the future. Obviously, like I said, we've got loads more examples, but unfortunately, there are only 10-minute slots. So if you have got any questions, my contact details are at the bottom there. And there is our Smart City Roadmap. But thanks a lot for your time. Really, really appreciate it.